ready to pop off on a Tuesday morning, afternoon. Maybe this is a different day entirely for you. Doesn't matter. You're here. I'm here. We're going to have a good freaking time. Okay, let's get the mics turned up. Let's get everything rip-roaring and ready to go because we got some stuff to talk about. And some retards. Yep, we're getting started right away. Monetization out the window. Listen, that's not what I'm here for anyway. And you guys know that if you've been a long-time listener, watcher, whatever. You know I'm not here for that, not here to be famous. We're just having fun talking shit and making stuff happen, okay? So make sure technology's all working. Yep, that's all figured out, okay, for the most part. Audio should be good. Video should be good. We're ready to go. I got my multi-monitor setup here. One's above the other, so if my eyes go in the wrong direction, don't get too mad. Don't get too upset. This is the most highly professional stream you'll ever watch in the history of YouTube, so watch out, stand clear, and get ready to go. Okay, let's jump right into this stuff because we have no time to waste. And of course, the big winner over this past weekend was Sean Strickland defeating Anthony Fluffy Hernandez in round 3 via TKO. This wasn't some boring decision by Sean Strickland where he teeped and jabbed his way to victory. Now, he did teep and jab his way into victory, but he also threw a knee up the middle and some nice shots to follow up and get that TKO on Fluffy, who's got a good chin, but still weak to the body. So I was correct in my prediction. I thought Fluffy was going to win it, but unfortunately the weakness to the body was his undoing yet again. That knee to the body very nicely landed. Now, I don't know what it is with Fluffy exactly. He had some kind of issues in the past, some surgeries. I don't know. Is he missing a couple ribs to protect him? I don't know. But Sean Strickland took advantage, made a name for himself yet again by talking big smack on the mic before the fight, after the fight, during the fight. And you know what? He got the victory. Okay, he got the victory. Not only that, capitalizing on the moment and using all that talk to drum up the hype, which ultimately paid due, right? Everything came due at the end of the night, and Sean Strickland is once again back in the spotlight. The star has arisen again. That is Sean Strickland, of course, in my opinion, has a bit of a boring style, but listen, if his opponent is ready to scrap, it's going to be a good fight. Anytime his opponent takes it to him, it's a good fight. So can you really call him a boring fighter? I don't know. Maybe just a boring style. So we'll keep moving right along. Of course, talked a lot of smack about Khamzat Chimaev, this, that, and the other. But the big thing was that they cut his mic off. Now, allegedly, this has nothing to do with anything going on out there from the Paramount side of things, but it was very, very confusing as to why they cut his press conference short at only just 8 minutes long. Dana White, others usually speak from anywhere from 10, 14, 16, even 18 minutes if they are willing and able to do so. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. We'll go over some of the video footage with that. We'll also be talking about, of course, the big news in boxing, and that Dana White is dropping the bag on Conor Benn, giving Conor Benn the bag. Conor Benn betraying Eddie Hearn over in boxing. Now, this isn't a boxing channel, but I got to right some wrongs. I got to fix some problems because retards out there seem to believe that Dana White himself is paying these fighters somehow, and that Turki Al-Sheikh, I mean, you see it right fucking there. Riyadh season at the bottom. Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Sheikh. Come on now, this is fucking stupid, okay? You guys are fucking stupid. Everybody out there, all the media members, everybody is stupid, and I'm pissed about it, okay? All right, let's calm down. Let's take a step back. Maybe we'll get a drink of water. Maybe we'll check out what the chat is saying. We got a couple people in here. Excuse me. Yeah, that's why we weren't live yesterday, because we're getting over a little bit of a sickness here. 6767 says Julie Chavez. Thank you guys for being here. We got a couple people in here. You know what? We can roll along with that. Or, you know what? Maybe you're lurking. Maybe you're not throwing a chat in here. That's okay, too. But Alex Alberto, hey, what's up, man? Hope you're well. It's Tuesday, at least for me, so we're cruising along. We're cruising along, Alex, so hopefully we can make it through the stream without coughing too much. Of course, I'll try to save my voice, get a couple sips of water in here in between, and, you know, talk to the chat when I can. So, yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're enjoying. Don't forget, like, share, comment, do that whole thing. Let's spread this thing out there. I'm in the minority. I don't think the mic being cut was a big deal. As long as Strickland got the message, everything will be fine. if you mean you're in the minority in terms of it's not a big deal, I would say it's a big deal if it was completely intentional. It's, of course, late in the evening. They're in Houston. I mean, they're trying to pack up and go. New production team. I don't know what was going on. It just seems weird that that's the time that you decided to cut him off, the moment he starts speaking out about the grooming that goes on in combat sports. Of course, usually this, lately has been having a large effect in the jiu-jitsu community. Of course, Andre Galvao paying the price over there. Is it true? Is it untrue? Gordon Ryan, Craig Jones, they're all involved in this stuff in some way, shape, or form or the other. Allegedly, of course, we got to protect ourselves. Allegedly, this is all rumor, but of course, the Jim West situation, allegedly, Tiki Gosin, allegedly, Pat Barry, and others alike. So, again, I would say I'm for free speech. Again, I like it when the fighters talk their shit, because if you talk massive shit and then get humiliated because you got beat up, that means people were hate watching you. Hate watching is one of the most enjoying forms of watching a fight. The best enjoyment I've got over the past couple years has been seeing Ian Gary go in there, because I'm waiting for somebody to put a beat down on this guy, because I cannot stand him. I cannot stand Ian Gary. Great fighter. I can't stand him as a person. Okay, so I love to hate. You love to hate, and that's part of Sean Strickland's thing, man. He's going to sell the fight no matter what. This guy just went in there with Dricus du Plessis and laid an egg in their second fight. Is Khamzat Chimaev going to take Sean Strickland down and ragdoll him? Probably. Okay, we all know this, but drumming up the excitement, at least trying to get me excited, it's what he does. Do I really buy into it at this point? Sean Strickland always saying, we're going to war. We're going to go to war. When does he ever actually go to war? Not all that often, let's be honest. This was a good one with Fluffy, because Fluffy brought the aggression to Sean. Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, may be another dud. So, okay, we don't know which way it's going to go, but I like the excitement. I appreciate Sean trying to drum up some interest, trying to make it a big fight, okay? So that's why we don't cut the mics. Whether you like or agree with what he's saying doesn't fucking matter. Leave it on. Allow him to either win the day or be absolutely and utterly humiliated. That's part of the fight game, part of combat sports, and that's why it is so much better than every other sport out there, because these guys are real. Sean Strickland talks like a real person, okay? This is how normal people, blue-collar people, everyday average people talk, okay? They cuss, they say things that are offensive, and it is what it is. Whether you agree with it or not doesn't fucking matter. You don't have to talk like that if you don't want to. I know people that cuss like crazy. I know people that don't cuss at all because they're Jesus freaks. That's okay. Everybody's got their own way of going about things. It doesn't affect you. You just move on. You go along, okay? So Alex hits back at me. In Gordon Ryan's defense, if you have a brother, you wouldn't want to get him some tail. But I digress. Holy fuck. Anyway, again, Sean Strickland seemed to be a weird moment in which they cut him off during him speaking about grooming, saying things about Khamzat Chimaev being a goat fucker. Okay, listen. Everybody's open for criticism, okay? It doesn't fucking matter, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. He's going to get what's coming to him no matter what happens, okay? Somebody's going to get their due. We just got to let things play out. It's not us. It's not me. You can be annoyed at it. You can hate it. You think it's offensive, think it's racist, this, that, or the other. I don't really care. You got to move on and let words be words. They're just words. They drum up excitement for the casuals, for the hardcores that know Sean Strickland fight in and fight out. Listen, I agree or disagree with some of his political stuff. Doesn't matter. As a fighter, he's either hit or miss, okay? It's either a good fight or it's not. Sean Strickland tends to lean more towards the boring side of things, but it's just his style. I can't fault him for that, but I can still like or dislike him as a fighter, and all the politics and all that involved will come to bring bias to the situation no matter who you are, no matter what you think. So it just depends on the fighter, depends on the situation. But yeah, let's pull up that feed. Let's pull up the video from Sean Strickland. Give me just a second. Not as prepared as I should be. Okay, you guys down here, Alex, you're the hardcore. You know what's going on over there in Gordon Ryan's sex life, so we'll leave that one to you. Meanwhile, I'll try to pull up the feed of the press conference of what happened, where they cut his mic off, if I can. You know what, if not, we can just pretend like we know what's going on. Of course, before the fight, he was talking about Bad Bunny, calling him the F-gay slur, whatever you want to call it. Of course, apparently I get in trouble if I say it out loud here on YouTube. Doesn't matter. Whatever. It is what it is. Here it is. Some people laughing, some people saying this, that, or the other. Okay, here, happy punch. Let's find it. Here's the footage, allegedly. Let's hope this actually plays out properly. Dana might stick Sean in with the winner of Izzy versus Joe or Kaio RDR. That's possible if Imavov is going to be next and if Sean wants to stay active, but it looks like he's vying for that Khamzat Chimaev title shot. And listen, he's very popular, talks a lot, stays active when he can. Imavov not super active, Khamzat not super active, so UFC might slot him right in there. Even though they might say they don't like him talking shit, look at all the eyes and views that it is drawing. I mean, this is crazy stuff from Sean Strickland. People love this guy. People love to hate this guy. It's all part of it. It's all part of the fight game. Anyway, let's listen to Sean. Let's see where the mic was cut off, what happened exactly. And again, we'll just keep breaking this down. We're just going to talk about it because, again, I want everybody to say as much crazy shit as they want. Because guess what? Somebody's going to come in, whether it's this fight or the fight after or 10 fights down the road, and absolutely get floored. And somebody will bite them back for what they're saying. Or, again, they'll win the day. They'll be the victor that time out.
Dude, you're out here looking like a gay-ass pirate, Dan Hooker semen in your asshole. Who wants to see fucking two little goat fuckers go at it? You want to see a real fucking American fight this little Chechen fucking whore in American soil?
I don't think you're going to get on the White House card.
Maybe I got to go hang up with Epstein or some shit. Dude, I guarantee fucking Chimaev would go to a fucking island.
Come on, dog. This is good shit. It's relevant. It's of the time, taking advantage of the talk about the files, this, that, and the other. Of course, Khamzat and the stereotype of those mountain dwellers with the goats. I mean, it's just playful banter. Again, if you really can't stand it, that's okay. Listen, you're not going to get shit from me. You can hate it all you want. But that means you can hate Strickland. That means you can watch Sean Strickland. That means that you'll be tuning into his next fight, okay? Come on, it's fun. It's part of the fucking game. Don't pretend like this is something new to you
all day long, that dirty little fucker. Yeah, one pure hearing, dude. Don't act like you're a classy guy, you dirty fuck. Let me tell you about this little bitch. We're gonna ask some stupid questions. Go. Come on, Amy. Let's talk about the gays. Let's talk about the trans. Come on, Amy. Let's get fucking Paramount to call me and bitch at me. Nah, sorry. I'll make fun of gays every chance I get, guys. Don't worry about that. I'm not gonna. I support your lifestyle.
I'm not gay.
You're not gay, seriously? No, hey, don't you laugh, dude, you Navy veteran. Hey, you're in the Navy, bro. Relax. We know about you guys.
Listen, I'm a big supporter of the veterans, but, the Navy's got the stereotype in the Navy, all those boys hanging out on a boat, nowhere to go. It's just part of it, okay? This is just a joke. It's been going around forever. Don't get your fucking panties in a bunch. Move along, okay? It is what it is. This is Sean Strickland. Like him or not, it's what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get every time he gets up there on the mic.
Is there anybody that's 35 around here? Anybody close to 35 years old? Can you picture being 35 years old and meeting a sweet little 14-year-old Aspen lad and saying, I'm going to marry her when she turns 18? That's what fucking Jim West did. Who's really, entertaining? You got Chimaev, the fucking go fucker. Oh, that's a wrap.
All right, so there's a little bit of editing, a little bit moving around. It wasn't exactly to time. But again, you start bringing up this grooming. You start exposing these figures that are within the industry. Was it Paramount or was it the UFC that cut his mics off? Or was it just the production company thinking, hey, it's late at night. We need to move along, okay? That's the thing. We don't know exactly what happened. Could have been somebody tripping on the fucking wire for all we know. It just seems weird and it's a weird moment. It's a weird time for the mic to be cut. He wasn't really saying anything new at that point other than the grooming aspect of things. Is the UFC trying to cover up? We know Dana is in tight with Tiki Gosen, who, of course, allegedly has some stuff going on. Allegedly. MMA Weekly has what Sean Strickland said when the mic got cut. Has what Sean Strickland said. It's true. Jim West really did that. Right, so that's too far overboard? How deep is Jim West involved in the I mean, it's just, he's a coach, he's relevant, he's still there's a number of different ways this could have gone. There's a number of different possibilities. It just seems like this guy talks so much crap about so many people. It just seems like a weird moment to cut the mics. It seems like it could have just been an accident. Of course, Tony Ferguson throwback here, of course. Tripping on the cord, blowing his knee out, all that mess. Somebody could have just tripped on a cord, okay? It really could have been just that. You don't know. We don't know. But this is a moment where you're exposing hard facts, not just talking crazy mess. So who knows? It could have been an intentional thing from Paramount, from the UFC, from somebody involved. Was Jim West still hanging around coaching Hernandez? Was he there? I mean, you never know. You never know. You don't know. So, again, that's that. He continued on ranting and raving about Khamzat Chimaev. Like, again, nothing new was there. He's talking about him being a goat fucker the entire week. So now you choose to cut the mic off. Just seems like a weird thing. Just seems like too much going on, not enough going on. We're going to just leave it as it is. Again, I like it when they allow them to talk and say whatever the hell they want, no matter how offensive it is. Habib, of course, with Conor in that situation. Conor speaking about his parents, the religion, all that stuff. He got what's coming to him, okay? He got what he deserved. And so, is it really that bad of a thing? I don't think so. People agree with it. There's always going to be weird people that agree with weird stuff. There's always going to be people that back up people that are not good people. There's always going to... It's the internet. It's what the internet does. You cannot be upset with it. You can't be shocked by it. You can't be surprised by it in any way, shape, or form. So, listen, my take is we don't know why the mic got cut. Seems like a weird time. Seems like a weird moment to cut it. Seems like, why are we cutting it now? He's just talking about Chimaev again. He's already been talking badly about gays, trans, whatever. Again, you agree with it, disagree with it, doesn't matter. He's already talked about that. He's moved on from that. Now he's talking about grooming and Jim West. Now you cut it? Come on. Yep. Pavel, of course, Valentina and Antonina's coach. Like you mentioned here, Alex, Pat Barry, few Brazilian coaches got within there with their fighters. Goes deep. Yes, it goes very deep. So is that why they cut it? Because whatever. He seemed to have moved on pretty quickly from it, though, on to the next thing. Sean Strickland's a very matter-of-fact kind of guy, kind of just off the cuff, doesn't have a script. He's just spouting off random things at random times. There is a serious issue here with grooming in combat sports, grooming in jiu-jitsu. Like I said, Andre Galval, of course, under fire for some stuff right now. Gordon Ryan, of course, under fire from Craig Jones. The biggest of the big, the most popular, the highest of highs of the UFC is the tippy top of combat sports. And there's still some issues involved there, so allegedly, but we know, there's been some weird stuff going on. Of course, you train with them. You're literally touching, okay? Let's not get too deep on this. I don't even want to think about it. It makes me so angry to even think about how these girls have been mistreated, how some of the guys have been mistreated as well. It's not just the girls, but also some guys out there, I'm sure, as well. Shout out Nikki Ryan. Allegedly. Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the situation. We don't know exactly why the mic was cut. We don't know exactly what happened. It's hard to say, but you can speculate that it seemed like the moment he started talking about grooming, all of a sudden the mic gets cut. A little bit weird. You can throw two and two together, try to conflate stuff. I won't do it. Just throwing out the speculation, just throwing out the rumors and the kind of the talk of the town. But I ultimately, Alex, if I get what you're saying, and of course, I don't know, it might be a language barrier here for us, or text barrier over the internet here, but I don't think too much of it right now. It seems like a very odd time to cut the mic. Seems like it wasn't exactly the, we're going to get him now. He's talking bad about this group of people. Let's get him out now. Like he was already talking bad about all these groups of people. It doesn't matter. Let's move along because we just wasted way too much time on that. So again, let's get right back to it. Boxing, Dana White, the whole charade, the whole mess going on over on the boxing side of things and the money being thrown around. Again, all these media outlets talking about how, the UFC and Dana White, how are the other fighters going to feel about Dana White paying this guy $15 million? It's not right. It's not fair. How's Sean O'Malley going to feel about this? Oh, boy. Okay, sorry. Before we move on, Alex got one more thing to say. Excuse me. Got to get the words out. I do think Chimaev versus Strickland is the biggest fight commercially that can be made, bigger than Ilya versus Islam. Maybe so. I mean, of course, personally, what I want to see is Ilya Islam. But maybe you're right. Maybe it is. I mean, Sean Strickland, like I said, we've already been talking about it. Massive star in the United States. Many people do agree with him politically. He speaks his mind. I like it. I like that he speaks his mind and that he's honest about stuff and he calls out stuff like grooming. We need that in the UFC. Khamzat, of course, the allure, the mystery, everything around him. Massive fight. I think Ilya Islam still does bigger numbers, especially internationally, because Sean Strickland probably just isn't that big of a cultural popular star outside of the United States. But of course in Australia, I forget, he went over there. People loved him over in Australia. So who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe I got to rethink things. Maybe I got to reassess what's going on in the MMA world. Of course, I'm a hardcore fan. I don't need fights to be hyped up. I don't need Sean Strickland to talk trash for me to get excited for the fluffy fight. I don't need him to talk to get me excited for the Chimaev fight. I think Strickland does have better takedown defense than DDP, so maybe he's got a better chance. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right, Alex. Maybe just maybe you're smarter, better, faster than I am. Who knows? But again, back to this. Demetrius Johnson. I'm literally wearing a fucking Demetrius Johnson t-shirt. I'm literally wearing the t-shirt. He's down in there somewhere. This guy's fucking retarded, and so is every other media member and every other person with a YouTube channel. I'm sorry, you're all fucking stupid if you really can't understand that Turkey Al-Sheikh and Riyadh Season and Saudi Arabia are funding Zuffa Boxing. Zuffa Boxing has zero fucking capital. It is all coming from Big Papa Turkey, Big Daddy Turkey. Dana White is not signing checks and handing them over to these fighters. Also, we don't even know how much fucking money he's getting. It's in the 8 figures. Has not revealed the exact dollar amount. Shut the fuck up, Demetrius Johnson. I'm tired of you. I love him as a fighter. But these motherfuckers are so stupid they can't do an ounce of fucking research. This is abysmal. Just fucking listen to this bullshit, this horse shit coming out of Demetrius right here. And I understand where he's coming from. I understand where the fighters might come from. But Dana White's going to say, nope, sorry, I'm not the one writing the checks. End of the conversation. That's it.
And, $15 million for one fight, it's crazy because what's going to happen after this fight, right? Is the $15 million worth having Conor Benn? It's the first time I've heard of him. From what everybody tells me, he's a very good boxer. But is Khamzat Chimaev making $15 million? Is Ilia Topuria making $15 million? Merab Dvalishvili making $15? We don't know because those numbers are always hidden. But I truly believe it's a flex from Dana White paying Conor Benn $15 million.
It's a flex from Zuffa Boxing and Turkey Al-Sheikh paying this motherfucker $15 million. If we want to put a price tag on it, it could be 10. You also want to fucking tell me that Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev aren't making $1, $2, or $3+ million more than what we think they're making? Motherfucker, Habib, almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago, made what? Upwards of $10 million for his fight with Conor McGregor. Stop fucking pretending like these UFC guys at the top level are not making millions of dollars every time they fight. Stop fucking lying, okay? Stop lying and telling us that this is Dana White paying them. Zuffa Boxing just started. They have zero capital. They have no-name fighters fighting on the undercard. If they had all this fucking money, they'd be paying out all of their fighters millions of dollars and have the best boxing cards you've ever seen, except they have no-name fighters and a couple of big guys. How do you think they just afforded Jayo Patai, who's the best fucking guy in his weight class? How do you think they afforded him and they just started this thing? Because Turkey Al-Sheikh is heavily involved in this. He's the one cutting the cash, okay? He's the one cutting the checks, writing the checks, giving them money. Stop playing. He's not the only one. Sean O'Malley, listen, he's a fighter. He's got a right to speak on it, to talk about, hey, what's this? Hey, what's that? I'm not expecting Sean O'Malley to do the homework as a fighter because you know what? He's a fighter and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, okay? He might not know exactly what the business dealings are with Turkey and Dana. Riyadh Season is literally, let me get this comment out of the way, literally at the bottom of this fucking poster. They're the ones putting up the money. Saudi Arabia is putting up the money for these guys, not Dana White. Not Dana White. Stop fucking around. These idiots that cover this sport, I'm telling you, stop tuning into Ariel. Stop tuning into Luke Thomas. Stop tuning into everybody who's just trying to be super popular, super outlandish, and go crazy. Do I wish that UFC fighters got paid more? I think you could pay them double, and they would still be just as hungry to fight. They would be just as hungry to fight. These guys do not fight with the regularity that guys back in the day used to fight with. Sean O'Malley, what, fights once a year now? And this guy deserves to be making $15 million every time he fights? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He does not drive that kind of revenue. boxing. I don't believe there is that kind of cash flow in boxing, but guess what? They get paid it anyway. I can't really do anything about that. UFC, it's still a pretty niche sport, okay? Come on. Here's Sean O'Malley. Listen to what he had to say about the whole thing. It's understandable. I get where they're coming from. 100%. We can discuss that. But the UFC is paying their guys. Zuffa Boxing, Dana White, they're not paying these guys. They're not paying these boxers. Mighty has the right to say this as he is used to one paying him big time. The UFC never gave him that. O'Malley, on the other hand, is only negotiating out loud. There's no fucking negotiation, Alex. There's no negotiation. There's no negotiation. You know what these guys are going to say to Dana? Hey, why is this guy getting so much money? Dana's going to say, if you want to go talk to Turki Al-Sheikh and get some charity case from him, go right ahead. We're not paying you shit because we're not paying these guys in boxing. They're completely open about this. I get it that they have a right to say this, Alex. I just fucking said that. But Mighty Mouse wants to come out here and be a commentator on this sport. Do your fucking homework before you start spouting out untrue things. These are untruths. This is fucking fake news, if you want to call it fake news. That's what Demetrius is spouting out there. This is what all these guys are saying. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, publicly speaking, because you're an uneducated retard who doesn't understand that Turki Al-Sheikh is literally paying for Zuffa Boxing. If you don't know that, understandable. If the fighters don't know that, understandable. But come on, let's put our fucking brains in. Let's screw them on. What am I crying about? Holy shit. You're a fucking idiot, Alex. Come on, wake up. Alex. This isn't Alex. Crazy Coco. Who the fuck are you, bro? You're a fan. You like this sport, right? What am I crying about? Fucking idiots on the internet. That's what I'm crying about. Fucking idiots on the internet. Not just us. We're idiots. We're stupid. We're just casual fans, okay? Here, crazy. But listen, what I'm crying about is the people that talk about this sport, that make money, that talk about the sport, that write articles about this sport, that don't understand that Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White are in business. These guys are in business to run Zuffa Boxing. Turki Al-Sheikh is cutting the checks, okay? He's the one paying these guys, not Dana White. So when idiots like Sean O'Malley and idiots like Demetrius Johnson can't fucking put that shit together, and then they go on their platform, they speak this out loud to other fans and spread the message, it gets a little bit frustrating. Let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about what's actually going on, not just public perception. Let's break this down. Listen, you come here crazy. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well, man. Listen, we need to get to the facts. We need to get to what's going on. We need to understand what's going on and disperse all this bullshit and get down to brass tacks. Does it suck that these guys are not getting paid enough? Absolutely. But they're just not going to get that money from Turki Al-Sheikh unless he absolutely drops a bag right in front of him for not even fighting, just because he wants to do it, just because it's a charity case. Okay, that's what's going on here. That's what's happening. This is not a negotiation. That's not what's going on here, okay? Take a listen to Sean O'Malley. Just stupid. But listen, again, he's a fighter. He's not up to speed on this. It's just stupid as fuck to go put this out on your platform when it's absolutely, utterly incorrect information. You don't have the full story. You don't have the full context. You haven't done the research to actually understand what's going on here. That's what I'm crying about. That's what I'm bitching about, because I'm tired of tuning in to every MMA show and hearing bullshit, okay? It's fucking bullshit.
Zuffa Boxing is something that's taken over from Turkey. Turkey's his name. He's like a prince or some shit in out in Dubai or something, like hundreds of billions of dollars. They're paying out. I don't even know who Conor Ben is.
I don't know.
He like supposedly is a pretty big name in boxing. But I never heard of it. Crazy, bro. Like, yeah, they really paid this.
It doesn't fucking matter. There's YouTubers, there's people that make so much money, that have businesses that are so big out there in the world. I don't know who they are. Does that mean that they don't deserve the money they're getting? Does Conor Ben deserve that much money? I don't know. But they're giving it to him when it doesn't have anything to do with anything. I don't follow boxing. I've watched Conor Ben fight 2 times. Do I think he's worth that much money personally? No fucking way, dude. Sean O'Malley, in my opinion, is a guy who deserves that much money because he's a big star and he's a fun fighter to watch. okay? But he doesn't get that much money. I can't help it. There's more business over in the NFL. I don't fucking watch the NFL. I don't think those guys, in my opinion, deserve to make that much money. I don't know who the fuck half the NFL players are. I don't know 90% of the NFL players out there. And they're making 10 times as much money as the UFC fighters. Does that mean he doesn't deserve it? They don't deserve it? The market says they deserve it, and it is what it is. Alex hitting me back. Appreciate you, brother, for jumping in here. If O'Malley gets the belt back, he might get bigger than when he was champion for the first time. Sean keeps calling out boxers like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. Yeah, and he'd get absolutely fucking smoked by them. Okay, let's just keep getting back to that. We don't care. This doesn't fucking matter. He might get bigger again, but listen, I don't think Sean O'Malley, he's staying active enough. I don't think he's fighting enough. He needs to challenge himself against guys like Umar right now. You want the shot? You want the shot at the title? Go beat Umar right now. Do it. Then go ahead and get your shot. But beating Song Yadong like that wasn't overly impressive. Good fight, fun fight in the third round. You aren't making waves, you aren't making headlines. Sean O'Malley's just Sean O'Malley. I don't even know why he's such a big superstar exactly. Doesn't really relate to my age demographic, I don't think. But he's got a fun fight style. Could he be bigger than ever? Maybe, if he gets a fucking knockout over Peter Yan or knocks out Merab Dvalishvili. But listen, that shit ain't happening anytime soon. And listen. I know I'm screaming, I know I'm yelling because I'm just pissed off because of how stupid people are out there. Thankfully, we have guys like Alex in the chat and Crazy who jump in here. I mean, they're calling me out for being crazy and crying. I mean, maybe I am a little bit. But listen, if you're not passionate about this, then do you really care? But I thought this pretty much summed it up quite clearly. This is low IQ from Sean O'Malley. TKO owns a small piece of Zuffa boxing to this point. A lot more milestones need to happen before the profit interests vest. First milestone was getting the Paramount Plus deal. That unlocks some equity for TKO. If all the milestones vest, they can get to 50% over time. Zuffa put in $0 and receives $10 million annually to manage the joint venture. What Conor Benn gets paid is not up to Dana White or Nick Khan. That was Turkey and Sellers' call. Whatever Ben gets paid is not material to what UFC fighters get paid. Why? An expense item listing $15 million for Ben isn't getting consolidated on TKO's financial statements. They don't own enough of the venture to consolidate Zuffa Boxing into the financial statements like they do with UFC, WWE, PBR, IMG on location. TLDR, Conor Benn's purse has zero to do with TKO's earnings. How WWE and UFC perform has virtually everything to do with how TKO performs. So there is a differentiator immediately. There's no question here. And then in the comments, listen, I understand. I want these fighters to get paid more, but whoever this fucking ape dude is, oh yeah, it's so low IQ to want the UFC to pay their fighters more than 20% of the revenue, no matter the fancy jargon you sugarcoat it with, doesn't change the fact that they are severely underpaid by revenue share percentage compared to boxing and other mainstream sports. Sure, but do you, like, if you watch the NFL, if you watch the NBA, if you watch other sports where these guys are getting paid so much fucking money and they're sitting out, they're taking breaks in the middle of games, they're load managing, all that bullshit, I don't want that. These fighters need to be fucking hungry to put on good fights. Do I wish they could get paid millions of dollars and still be as fucking hungry as they were? I mean, what is the famous saying? You know, you wake up in silk sheets. Do you really want to go back to training? No, you don't. Okay, when you make a certain amount of money, you start fighting hard. You stop fighting hard. You stop putting it on the line. You become rested. You become a rested individual. You become content with yourself and the success that you have had. It fucking sucks, okay? Not everybody is as badass as Alexander Usyk, who's making hundreds of millions of dollars and still trying to challenge himself. Sean O'Malley, to me, is a guy who got content and got his ass destroyed in the second fight with Merab Dvalishvili. There's nothing more I can say about it. Sean O'Malley reflects the current culture, similar to Adesanya representing dancing and anime. O'Malley represents weed and influencer culture. Sure, I don't care about that at all, Alex, but I understand what you're saying, so I appreciate you that. Putting it in a little bit of a more consolidated format, something easy to read, something easy for us to interpret. So, again, I don't care about this, but I appreciate you throwing it in the comments here because it's a good way to sum it up. So it's good. I like that. I like the way you put it, like the way you framed it, like the way you worded it. But it is low IQ. You don't understand the way that business works. Does Sean O'Malley have a manager? I don't even think he has a manager. I think Sean O'Malley is his own manager. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know out there in the chat. You guys probably know better than I do. But listen, I'm a critical person. I'm a skeptical person. I question a lot of things. And yeah, does Sean O'Malley, in my opinion, deserve to be making as much money as NFL players? Yes. But if I want him to continue fighting and getting in the gym and trying hard and trying to put on good performances and getting finishes, I need him to stay hungry, which means you cannot get hundreds of millions of dollars for fighting. These boxers fight, what, once or twice a year? Who the fuck cares? You disappear for 6 to 9 months out of the year. Nobody hears a word from you. Guys like Alex Pereira, guys like Diego Lopez, guys that stay active, fight all the time. They're always in the news cycle. They're fortunate to be making enough money. They're fortunate to be making the millions that they are. The difference between 100 million and 90 million when you're making that much money just isn't that significant. Terrence Crawford, willing to take pay cuts to make the Canelo fight happen. Of course, it's rumored. Might not be legitimate. I don't know. But it also doesn't shock me. You want to sell your soul for money, or do you want to challenge yourself to be the greatest at something? The fans resonate with that. The normal everyday person resonates with that. I don't resonate with weed and influencer culture. I don't care about that at all. Ronda's not helping the situation. She's only trying to escalate the pay situation using MVP. I mean, MVP and their whole Netflix thing, like, they're going to put on a big event. It's going to get a lot of eyes, get a lot of viewers, because a lot of people have Netflix and a lot of people are vaguely interested in that fight. But in terms of real competition on a day-to-day basis, who the fuck cares? I mean, they were talking about Jelton Almeida and Junior Dos Santos in the co-main event. Who the fuck cares? I don't have Netflix. I won't be watching. I've got my Paramount Plus. I've got my UFC Fight Pass. I'm good to go. That's all I need. I don't give a shit. Will I be following it on Twitter the night of because I can't watch it? Yeah. But there's no staying power. There's no lasting impact from MVP. They're putting on mega events that draw a lot of eyes for one night out of the year. Otherwise, useless and meaningless. So the UFC, to counter that, do they need to put on a big event? Do they need to get Conor McGregor back in the cage? Maybe. But are they scared? Is there real competition? No. It's just views. It's just clicks. Normal, everyday people. It's hard to relate. When Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, who've made millions and millions and wasted millions and millions, it's hard for normal people to relate to that. Will they tune in if they can? Absolutely, but do they care? No. People care about Sean Strickland because they like what he has to say. People care about Anthony Fluffy Hernandez because they like his story. They like his style. MMA, you get invested in these characters. You get invested in these guys. These inspirational stories. If they were all making $10 million, great for them, but they wouldn't be fighting as often. They wouldn't be fighting as hard. We wouldn't be interested in them because they're just unrelatable. I would back up a fighter in a street fight. If some NFL player got in a fight in the street and he was standing in front of me, I would not feel as compelled to jump in and help him. Okay? I'd say, listen, you're wearing your giant gold chain, you've got your grill in, you've got this, you got these giant bracelets on, you're walking around with $1 million shirts and $1,000 pants and $100,000 shoes. If some homeless guy decides to try to beat you up and take that off of you, probably shouldn't have been walking around like that. Alex Pereira, who gets his UFC duffel bag with his Venom gear in it and walks around in those clothes all week long during fight week, and just looks like your average everyday guy, other than being 6'4" and terrifying. If that guy got jumped by somebody, I'd be like, who's that random fella? I'm going to go help him out. I'm not going to mess around with somebody who's wearing a gold chain around their neck that's gigantic and worth millions of dollars. I'd feel bad morally. I probably still will. Maybe I'm lying. But you get my point. It's just not relatable. You understand as a normal person, like, well, yeah, of course he's getting jumped. He's got $10 million hanging around his neck. Almeida might get smoked in Russia. They can wrestle over there in the regionals. Yep. Was he just sandbagging so that he get a bigger contract on the regional scene? Maybe. It's possible. That's what I suggested to Martin Budai, and guess what? He's pretty popular, pretty successful now after leaving the UFC. So I'm not upset with that. Listen, I want these fighters to be successful. I want these guys to leave the UFC if they're losing fight after fight after fight. Go to the PFL and get overpaid. Go back to the regional scene and get wins. Go viral. Have fun call-outs. Do all that crazy shit on the regional scene. Be the gatekeeper for the UFC. Be the guy like, hey, if you don't beat this guy in the LFA, man, you're not moving on to the UFC. Be interesting. Continue it on. Don't just stand there in the UFC and take loss after loss after loss, brain damage after brain damage after brain damage. Go to where you're valued. If you wash out of the UFC, go back to the regional scene. Either give up on your dreams or start just knocking motherfuckers out on the regional scene. Fight month after month after month. Stay in the cultural zeitgeist. Stay in the social media zeitgeist. Stay in relevancy. That's how these guys grew as fighters. That's how these guys got popular back in the day in Pride. Fighting multiple times on one night. This is how the UFC started. Holy shit, that guy's fighting again. He just fought last week. Khamzat Chimaev. Why the fuck did he blow up? Because it felt like he was fighting every other week and he was dominating every other week. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You stay active. You stay relevant. Sean Strickland took advantage of the opportunities before him and has become a massive star. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, all this promotion, all this talk, all this bullshit, all these one-off boxing events, all these one-off MMA promotions, they don't fucking matter. Casual, everyday fans got interested and invested in Conor McGregor because he fought often, he talked massive shit, and the results spoke for themselves. He got finishes, he fought all the time, and he talked massive shit. But the beginning of that, it all starts with fighting often. Capitalizing, staying relevant, staying in the news cycle. If he didn't fight multiple times a year on his come up, if he didn't get multiple finishes, he would not be the superstar that he is today, no matter how big the smack talk is. Colby Covington talks massive shit. Nobody cares anymore. Not really. Some people. At the end of the day, the promotion, the bullshit, the talk, doesn't matter. If you're not fighting all the time, if you're not working hard, if you're not in the gym all the time, if we don't see you in the gym all the time, if we don't know you're in the gym training, getting ready for a fight, if you're not always there and around and relevant, then it doesn't fucking matter. None of that promotion matters. The people need to see you constantly. Not everybody spends all day on Twitter. But if you're fighting 3-4 times a year, we know your name. Okay? That's the casuals. That's how you bring in the casuals as well. It's not just the big bombastic cards. It's just getting in there. Win, lose, or draw. Diego Lopez, huge star. Why? Capitalized on his moments. Took advantage of the times. Fought all the time. For 2 years straight, the guy was taking every other fight he could get. Every other month it felt like Diego Lopez was fighting. Alex Pereira loses to Israel Adesanya. Vicious, brutal, knockout, all-time moment. Gets back in there just a few months later against Jan Blachowicz. Split decision. Pretty lackluster fight. Kept descending. Stayed in there, stayed active. He's making his money because he's staying active. He's not making his money because he's waiting for a title shot, waiting to make $1 million every time he fights. If he only can make $500,000, well, if you fight 3 times before you could make $1 million in one fight, that's more money. That's what we're missing. Where are the fucking fighters? Where are these guys? Where are these guys that show up all the time? That's what we're missing. We need more. We need more of them. I get behind guys like that. Charles Oliveira. These guys that put on excellent performances every time they fight, and not just once every 2 years. Khamzat Chimaev. Okay, so that's it. That's it. It ties everything together. I don't understand why boxers get paid as much as they do. But listen, the Middle East, Turki Al-Sheikh, they seem to think that this guy's valuable. He's young. He's a scrapper. He's pretty good. But they're trying to send a message to boxing like, hey, we're going to do some good shit with this kid. If he fights all the time, I know it's just a one-fight deal, but if he fights and stays active, I mean, this guy, he's going to become one of the big names in Zuffa boxing. Jai Opataya, fun fighter to watch. Gets in there, stays active. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, they're going to pay him what they think they deserve, and the UFC is not the one writing the checks for Sean O'Malley and the UFC, they're writing the checks of Sean O'Malley. Okay, they're writing the checks of Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, Khamzat Chimaev. Do I think that these guys deserve more money than boxers? In my opinion, yes. The UFC's paying those guys. Turki Al-Sheikh is paying the boxers. Totally different situation. Got to separate the two. And I don't want to hear any more from the media that, Dana White's in trouble. MVP's going to pose a threat. For one night and one night alone this year, they will steal the spotlight. Outside of that, they've got nothing. End of story. I know I've been rambling on, but I appreciate you guys, especially Alex. We had a couple other people jump in here, jump in the chat. Appreciate them too so much. Hearing me scream into the microphone. I'm just tired, man. I don't want to turn on the next show and hear a bunch of bullshit. I need to hear the real conversation that's going on. Not, this is bad, this is that. No. Get down to business. Tell me what's true. Tell me what's not. And let's have a nuanced conversation. It's not just headlines. It's not just big viral moments. There's a lot of reality. And there's a lot of people that are missing out on honest conversation in combat sports. And I'm just getting tired of it. That's what pisses me off more than anything. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all the lurkers out there that didn't drop a chat. Thank you for everybody who's going to tune in after the fact. Maybe, just maybe, I'll cross my fingers and hope that you do. But if not, that's okay. We're going to keep moving along. Don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. Do that whole thing so that we can keep this show rolling, keep this thing going right along, because we've got more to talk about every single day. Combat sports filled with drama, filled with interesting things across the board. I'm so excited to get into more of this. Of course, UFC Mexico, we've got some stuff going on, some turmoil down in South America, down in Mexico. I don't know what's going on with the cartels and what's going on down there exactly, but we'll get into that. We'll talk about that tomorrow if we can. If we have the ability to do so. Be thankful for today, and I thank you guys again for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Hope everyone has a wonderful day as you are now. Continue that good streak going. Continue getting out there, fighting the good fight. Stop being stupid. Come back here tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time.